What's going on, guys? I'm YST, and welcome back to the free-to-play series, kind of. And today, we've got a very special guest, a good friend of mine. He's been an enemy in the past for other free-to-play series, but not this year. We got Mr. Deadwood Jedi. How's it going, bro?
I'm great. And it's so good to hang out with my frenemy again. This is going to be a blast. I love that.
Yeah, so we actually just came off a very similar video to the one we're doing today, talking about the best rare clan boss champions in the game over on Deadwood's channel, which I'll, of course, link below and subscribe to the legend. But today, we're doing the second part of that. We're going to be talking about some epics, which should be cool. But before we get into this, most importantly, how has your clan boss been on your free-to-play so far?
All right, my clan boss on my free-to-play, not spectacular, but it's early. And this is every other free-to-play I've done. It's always been the same thing. We start off slow, and then we beat everybody into the dirt. Sorry, maybe I should have
touched the nerve there.
No, but it is one of those things where you got to kind of realize it's a marathon, not a sprint. And so with my clan boss, seems kind of the same approach. We're doing hard right now. I think I'm 2 king hard pretty consistently.
Okay.
And so hopefully soon, 2 king hard, 1 king normal. I'm starting to get some masteries for some champions. I finally got my 3rd 6-star. I know I'm a little behind when it comes compared to like jerks like Nub and are getting everybody 6-star. But we're getting there slowly but surely, and I'm pretty confident that we'll be doing brutal before too long. Get up into nightmare and kind of progress from that. I definitely have a shortage of champions though, so I'm actually really excited about this video because I need so many of these epics. It's like so many of them because with my starting champion, I took the Wukong, I took the Monkey King, and so I just don't have that those foundational clan boss champions you would typically build around right now. And that's that's a problem. You got to have the chance to do it.
Yeah, did you feel like after you picked the champion you did in some Wukong that you wish you went a different direction? Like, obviously there was champions like Sigmund out there was Taragi the Frog. And you were seeing how good Nubs is doing with Sigmund, by the way. Like, it's insane the amount of stuff that champion brings. Did you have any other ones that you're like, damn, I wish I chose a different direction?
Well, it's interesting. I definitely don't feel like, I definitely don't have this like, this FOMO feeling like I missed out on something or like, regrets about the choices I made. I still think Wukong's the best choice, honestly, like just the best champion that was available. That said, I kind of wish I was doing 2 other free-to-plays because there's 2 other champions I would have loved to have played with. One of which is Sigmund the High Shield because I have them. I've never used them. I can't figure out how to use them. Maybe that's me just being dumb and like not putting in the time to really, look at it and figure it out. But like, it was never an interesting champion. So kind of wish I'd done that because one of the great things about the free to play is when you're limited on champions, you have to figure out how to use them completely. And so that just would have been good for my own edification. And I think could have been interesting. The other one is obviously Taragi the Frog, who I think was the 2nd best champion that was available. And would be insane for clan boss. Like I guarantee I would be doing brutal right now, probably pushing closer to nightmare. And that's definitely somebody I would love to have on my account. So personally I don't regret it, but there's definitely some other options out there that I looked very strongly at, and I just kind of wish I could do to supplement what I'm already doing, I guess you'd say. Yeah. But this is the first time I've ever been good in arena as well as a free to play, and like that's pretty exciting. Like I'm doing like every run for my 3v3 because I'm actually winning like 90% of them, and like I'm in gold. I already made it to gold already, which is like super quick for me, and like so in that respect, I'm not upset or disappointed. By the way, you have Operdin, and you got Mad Hatter and Alice.
I'm definitely not rubbing it in. Queen of Hearts always against Team Alice. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I see what's up.
No, so God, for me personally as well with promo code champions, I actually went for a law. I don't know if you've seen that. And I was like, was that?
I did. I was actually curious how that felt. Like, what's that like for you?
So obviously with this series, it's a little bit different to the last one, right? Because before it was kind of like smaller teams and everyone's going head to head and everyone's just kind of doing everything. Right. I thought, let me try get a specialty area for Team Queen of Hearts. And for me, I was like, if no one else is choosing a lore, she's going to unlock Finite for me. And everyone's going to be struggling.
Yeah.
I'm hoping anyway. Yeah, so I thought it's like, we got Dark Fae rotation coming up. That's going to be a top tier champion for that. So I'm looking forward for it. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm struggling in PvP. 100%. Was that my best brutal key, by the way? Oh, it was 9 million.
That was a pretty good one. This is a pretty good one.
But anyway, all right. We're sidetracking a little bit. It's not a free-to-play episode, but kind of is. Like I said. So the way we're going to do this today is, if me and Deadwood started this free-to-play journey, which we technically have, we're only like 2-3 weeks in, when we're summoning those nice, spicy ancient shards, those void shards, what are the epic champions or top 10 we're always hoping for? And that's kind of the theme for today's video. So do you want to kick us off here with, maybe not in order, it's up to you, but number 1 on your list?
Okay. Well, I mean, number 1, oh boy. Yeah. Number 1's kind of a no-brainer. And I always kind of, almost feel a little bad about it because it is such a no-brainer, but it's got to be, this is a champion, by the way. It took me years to get,
okay,
which is just so frustrating. But it's got to be Fahrakin the Fat.
Oh,
it has to be Fahrakin the Fat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
This to me is a no-brainer, and it's very simple. Is that like look? A lot of times you want utility out of these champions, right? You need like, oh, is my AOE decreased attack or decreased defense champion? What? Don't put me in the belly! Don't put me in the belly! Don't! No!
Sorry.
But yeah, Fahrakin the Fat's just so good. I mean, you got that decreased defense on the A1, which is not a small chance to land, and very, very effective. And that, that's a huge thing for clan boss. But obviously, the most important one, I think, is that the A3 that brings that ally attack. Increased crit rate, increased crit damage, ally attack, which is just massive for damage. And then, of course, the A2 also brings poisons and HP burn. So this guy's going to be great for so many different areas, right? We're talking like Fire Knight, dungeons, everything. Every dungeon he's going to be good for. And then on top of that, he's insane for clan boss. The ally attack ability is just super strong. It's not, I don't want to say it's as strong as counterattack, but it is pretty close as far as like the damage increase you get for your team, and that's just a massive ability. So for me, Fahrakin, number 1 champion to pull, and and maybe I'm now that I'm thinking about it, there's probably 2 others that might fight for that position. Okay, well he's top 3 champion I would want on my account.
Yeah, I definitely had him on my list, so let me just cross that off. Bye Fahrakin. But no, I agree. Like, such a phenomenal champion. And going back to what you said with the counter attack or the ally attack, which I'm sure we'll touch on later, like, with ally attack, we can kind of manipulate it to our advantage with like reflex builds and refresh accessories and getting more of these attacks out, which is really cool for like poisoners or nice strong A1 ability champions. So I guess you can argue for each side of it, right? Oh man, you started off with a banger there. Do you know what? Guys, on the thumbnail, I'm not going to leave you waiting till like mid of the video. There's a champion, and I think one of the most underrated champions of all time.
Great champion.
Rugnor Goldgleam. And I'm sure, obviously, you've been around a very long time in Raid Shadow Legends, and you know that this ability here has messed up a lot of teams in the past, because he literally will kill himself. He will literally kill himself.
Yeah.
However, we have now got a beautiful thing called presets, and you can lock this off completely, which means
100%.
You've now got an increased attack on himself, decreased defense and weaken at 100% chance on a 4-turn cooldown, and a leech on a void affinity champion, and he can smack, and he's in my main team, on my main account, by the way.
Yeah, on your main account. Okay.
On my main account, yeah. But, like, if you got this dude, do you really need a Razin, or do you need to chase it so quickly? I don't think so,
No. Obviously, the negative with him is that he's got one of the lowest defenses for any epic in the game, right? It was at 782 over there.
Yeah.
And the HP is not particularly high for that either. So keeping him alive, bit of a struggle. But those debuffs he brings are absolutely essential, right? Leech, decreased defense, and weaken. Like, this is hard to get better than that. And what's also great is his passive ability means that even though that A3 is a 4-turn cooldown, that passive ability means it's really not going to be a 4-turn cooldown.
Yeah.
Which is just really, really cool. So I like this champion a lot. I struggle a little bit on something like a free to play because he's gonna really shine in an unkillable team. He's gonna be a lot less effective in a traditional survive team, and that because he's so squishy. And so that's one of the limitations of him. But absolutely, if I pulled him, I'd be super stoked. Super stoked, right? He'd definitely be going in my team. And the increased attack buff means he hits super hard.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like him.
It's a really tough one because obviously I use him in my main account team, and full disclosure, I hate unkillable teams in this game. Personally, I know how valuable they are for players, but when I'm building comps, I just don't like using unkillable teams, and I changed away from it. And he's in a kind of, he survives as well as anybody. I guess it depends on the build, right? If you want to go for full damage, yes, you need the right sustain around him. It could be a bit hard, but if I pulled him now early game, I wouldn't care about his damage. I'll just be going for debuffer route, tankiness as high as possible. And do you know with this A2, it's not too bad to use occasionally if you're manually, like sacrifices 15%, it's quite a big chunk. You're getting a turn meter fill by 75% and a shield buff. Like,
yeah, no, it's actually not a bad skill at all. The issue with it, the biggest issue with that skill is that it really makes it kind of impossible to speed tune.
Yeah.
That's the issue with it. The skill on its own is not particularly terrible, but you also have to remember there's a squishy champion with a squishy ability there. Now with the leech buff out there, it doesn't even matter, right? Like you go, oh, there's a leech buff, cool. Plus also remember he sacrifices enough HP that it activates his passive ability. So like if you're just running a team where like we're just gonna throw our champions in and hopefully it all works, we're not speed tuning, that's not a bad skill at all, right? But it is one of those things where you gotta balance it a little bit. And once you start getting low, he will kill himself.
Yeah.
Which is like way less helpful too, right? So it's a bit of a balancing act. You want that skill for like 75% of the fight, and then you want to turn it off. So that part gets a little bit trickier, I think. But he's really, really good. No knock on this dude.
Do you know, I just realized, I think that Rugnor Goldgleam is Geomancer in a different skin. Wait, look at his eyes. Like it might be. Well, I guess the other champion I just made name's going to come up at some point, so we'll look at it then. But... All right, so who we got next here then? Who we got next?
All right, well, I would name that next one you just did, but I wanted to go a slightly different direction because I was thinking about it, and, oh, God. Well, I mean, this is a problem with the... Okay, look. There's some epics out there that are just insanely good, right? And like are obvious choices, and I would name them. But I wanna branch out a little bit. I wanna talk about some champions that maybe people aren't 100% knowing, right? So I'm gonna talk about one that would be phenomenal if I pulled them. I would be so excited, right? On my free to play, it's like so excited if I pulled this champion. Vergis. This is one of my favorite champions in the game, and he's so very good on top of not needing a lot of books, which is just a great bonus, right? But that skill right there, that one right there, that skill alone, I can speed tune for clan boss with that skill, right? And speed tune some awesome teams with that. Nightmare, ultra nightmare quality teams. But more importantly, this dude puts out insane buffs on one champion, ally protection on everybody, increased defense on himself, reflect damage on that ally that he puts it on. Like there's so many good things coming out of this skill that only takes one book. The A1 means he's going to be, giving himself or putting reflect damage on other people, right? So this is stuff that's helpful for things like Fire Knight. But then that passive ability is insane, where he gets a shield basically every turn. Yeah, that's wild to me, right? And continuous heal when his HP drops below 50%. You were talking about in our previous video, you're talking about sustaining your ally protection champions.
Yeah,
Vergis is one of those guys that can do that. He's actually extremely good in things like arena too, right? You can make him really tanky and can be very problematic for enemies to face. So yeah, this is one of those dudes that I absolutely love and would definitely be stoked about pulling.
Yeah, no, he's.
I think for the free to play especially.
So obviously the one thing is obviously the increased speed is only going on a single ally, so you'd have to make sure you've got an AoE increased speed in the team, right? To make sure you're
right.
But outside of that, like, 3-turn cooldown ally protection on just one book needed. That's the main thing. Like with these free-to-play series, like we don't want to get crazy books into our skills because it could just go down a rabbit hole, and he doesn't take too many.
Very true.
Which is nice. Yeah.
Very true. My favorite clan boss team I ever speed tuned was a Vergis team.
Okay.
And the key with it was you can bring in like a Sepulchre Sentinel, somebody that has block debuff on a 4-turn cooldown.
Yep.
By putting them in the lead, that increased speed can keep them in sync with your team. So you're basically going at a 1-1 with one person at a 4-3. I know that's like math speak for some people, but essentially it can make your team work. And because Vergis is so tanky with the ally protection, you're able to, I was able to make a 3-key Ultra Nightmare team. This was like 3 years ago too, so like it's even easier now with things like blessings and different champions and stuff like that. But yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed that team. I bet I could 2-key with Ultra Nightmare today, like on my main account. Easily.
Oh, that's so interesting. So you were running the increased speed onto your lead position to ensure that they're going faster, so you don't need the forward. That's so. And by the way, guys, if you need some speed tunes out there, deadwoodjedi.com, a little plug. You find all of these, of these tunes,
But yeah, actually, what's interesting about Vergis, whenever you have a champion for clan boss that places buffs on one champion, unless it says it's going to be on your weakest champion or this champion or whatever, it's generally going to go on the lead spot. It will work in turn order. So for somebody like Vergis, it will always put that buff on your lead champion. Unless they have all those buffs already, then it'll go to the second champion. But that also means it's very consistent, so you can speed tune with him. So even for clan boss, like I just think he's insane. I mean, beyond the fact that he's insane for most everywhere in this game. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a really cool. I didn't expect that, and that's what we want to see, right? We want to see these spicy picks for sure.
Yeah. But definitely want to get some spicy ones out here for you guys. So yeah, he's on that list.
Well, I guess one that's not so spicy. Sorry, guys, I'm not as fancy as Deadwood. I try to be. But how can you beat a man with a hat like that?
You're good.
So we're gonna go Venomage. I think.
Oh yeah.
It's all around I'm always a massive fan of damage mitigation. It's no surprise, right? And
such a classic YST pick. Like, of course you had to pick Venomage.
Of course. Like, obviously very similar to Cough Geomancer. We don't know about that guy. He might come up later. We got 15% less damage from champions under heal reduction. Now, obviously, we don't need heal reduction in the clan boss, right? But just enabling some use out of the effect, I think, is very cool and pretty much one of a kind through Venomage. And then we've got a poison debuff. We got 2 of them coming out for some damage. We got decreased attack and decreased defense. Like, I will kill for a decreased attack right now. I still don't have one. And then, some A1 for some detonation stuff. And, with Amius coming into the game, we got Never Spider. Heal reduction is more important than ever. And this same build you build for Clan Boss is going to work elsewhere on those Ultra Nightmare difficulties. And Universal Aura, in case you're slacking a bit. And yeah, I think Venomage is a top choice, man.
Absolutely. I had him on my I had him on my free to play last year.
Yep.
And absolutely carried my team. Absolutely. Like, he's insanely good. This is definitely a top tier pick. If you get him on your account, you're doing jumping jacks. You're very, very excited because you get so much out of his kit. It's an insane one. Okay, so I'm gonna break the rules a little bit. I'm gonna name 2 because I think everybody wants a spicy pick. So I'm gonna get some of the blasé, obvious top tier choices out of the way here. So I'm just gonna name these 2 and just knock it out. You're in the right spot. You already know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about Geomancer, who's easily the best damage dealer in the epics, right? Because it's reflect damage ability, HP burn. He does some buff stripping. Like, the guy's insane. Obviously he's going to be top tier. He'll take you literally himself from nightmare to ultra nightmare or brutal to nightmare. Crazy champion. And then the other one is Demytha, who is the only champion in this game that you can build an unkillable team around just by herself. She's incredibly good. Block damage on a 3-turn cooldown, insane heals. She's great in a lot of different areas of the game, but like for clan boss, just stupid OP. But these are both obvious ones, right? They're not spicy, and I figure we should just get those out of the way here.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So we have pretty big lists here of champions we might want to be.
Man, it's crazy. We were saying before we recorded, like I've got 40 champions here. Deadwood's got like 40, and we're trying to narrow it down to some spicy top 10s that we're looking for this series. Yeah.
I mean, there's still a couple more that I could easily throw on here that would be like pretty obvious anyway. But I feel like those two just shouldn't even be on the list really because they're so good. Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just knock those out. We'll move on from those two.
All right, so do you want to go into your next spicy pick then? Let's get rocking and rolling.
Oh, next spicy pick. Oh, yeah. Okay, I like this then. All right, so if we're gonna go from that, we're gonna go to the next spicy pick. God, there really are a lot of like very obviously good choices, but my next spicy pick, Klodd Beastfeeder.
Oh, let me just cross that off the list. You know. Oh, we love Klodd. Go for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, we're talking first of all, increased speed, right? That's such a basic thing, such an important thing. But you know, the two ways you really go far in Clan Boss is go fast or stay unkillable. You last a long time or you go fast. And Klodd's gonna help you go fast. Not to mention that increased accuracy buff, so useful, so very useful. And then also brings decreased crit rate on that A1, which is not a bad thing to have. Nothing like having the Clan Boss crit on you to ruin a good run. Yeah. And then the shield on the A2, another really good ability to help stay alive. So like, oh, and the passive, right? Klodd heals, I think, on the passive ability, if I'm not mistaken.
Lowest HP target.
Yeah, it's such a great champion. Really, really underrated, I think. Obviously, there's going to be, you know, better options as you go further in the game. But like, as far as speed champions, there's not a lot that are going to be really better than Klodd. So yeah, that's my pick.
No, decreased crit rate. Like I can't exaggerate how powerful this is for those traditional style teams. Like I'm pretty sure many of you guys out there that's built comps, you're like, why is my team dying so early this run? You know, like usually it lasts 40 turns. Why is it only 30?
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you just got a bad crit, you know, and you lose your allies. So, you know, being able to alleviate that completely could just keep you on a nice, even playing field for your team to keep going. Yeah. All right.
That's something people probably don't know a lot about. The Clan Boss has a 30% chance to crit. I think all the bosses do. So when you get decreased crit rate, you're eliminating the crit possibility, which is just huge.
It's why we love Dark Hills and stuff, right? As you get progressed through the Doom Tower. Well, we're not going to get Dark Hill this series, so I can't mention him, but there is someone from the Shadowkin faction. I think he is underrated. I think he's still gone under the radar over the past few years.
Okay.
Hotatsu. The pan face.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love this.
Didn't you have this guy last year?
I think, was it last year or the year before? I'm not entirely... I think it was the year before when you had the Elva. I might have pulled him.
Oh, okay. That could be. Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah, but...
That sounds right.
You know, he's bringing in increased defense and continuous heal on a 3-turn cooldown. We got AoE decrease attack, universal value plus clan boss value. Granted, not 100% chance, but we take it. We take it with the sniper. And then we got an A1 leech. You know, I like those, so you can move away from that lifesteal gear. And then you've got a little cleansing as well from this champion. And defense in all battles, 25%. Lovely jubbly. It's what we want.
Really good champion. Yeah. Really good champion. That's a really great shout out. I definitely was on my list, so I'm gonna have to take that off of
just
there.
Scratch that off, you know?
Scratch that one off. But yeah, I mean, the insane healing is great. The utility is so good and hits decently hard. You know, which is hard to get away from.
I think
that's a fantastic pick.
Not to cut you in there, I think if you remember, you hosted it, the Clan Boss draft. I actually had Hotatsu in there, and I lasted a very long time with this dude with the leech and stuff. Really cool champion. Yeah, don't underestimate him.
Hotatsu plus, if I'm not mistaken, Venomage. Yeah, the all damage mitigation team, if I'm not mistaken.
It would have been something funky, but I definitely enjoyed the Clan Boss draft. Cough, cough, do it again, please. Thank you. All right.
Okay, we'll do. We'll bring it back.
All right, who we got next here?
Oh, God. I have to think of somebody else. Okay. No. I had to go through all the champions and, like, look at them, and some of these I haven't played with, so I'm like, is that person like actually good, or do I just think they're good? So it's a little bit. There's some that are here that I'm like, I'm not 100% sure. Here's one though that I did look at and I am convinced is a good choice. We're gonna talk about Wyrennon the Silken.
Oh, nice.
in the Sylvan Watchers.
Okay.
I was looking at this kit and I was just like, yeah, there's nothing I can't like about this. I mean, we're talking on that A2, the increased speed, turn meter boost. Obviously, that's a gimme, right? It is a 4-turn cooldown, which is less than great, but I mean, that's hard to get away from, especially when you combine with the A1 has a decreased attack on it. I mean, that's pretty nice right there.
Forget about that.
Right? And then that A3 revive, continuous heal, like that's, there's some stuff. A 4-turn cooldown on that as well is not bad. Now, I'm not saying she's top tier. Again, 4-turn cooldown and increased speed is a little bit not perfect.
Yeah.
But still really good champion, I think. And you can definitely speed tune around it. It's just, becomes a little bit trickier a lot of times, but I like her. I think she's got some solid potential, this one here.
Interesting. No, that is actually, I actually forgot. I always felt like she had a sleep on A1, but decreased attack is perfect. And what is that, a 50-60% chance? It's not too bad at all.
Yeah. If you can get her going on a 2-1 ratio, consider the fact that it's a 2-turn duration. You only need to land it once every 2 turns anyway. Right? And if you can go on 2-1 ratio, that's 4 shots to land it every time that you need. It's a pretty good chance, right? So, you could definitely use her in Clan Boss as your decreased attack champion. And then she's bringing the speed on top of that. You just, get another champion to kind of do the other half of things. And you got a pretty solid team right there.
Yeah, for sure. Man, I am struggling for this next one, Deadwood.
I don't blame you.
Actually, no. Do you know what? Here we go.
There it is. There it is.
This is my perfect opportunity, and I actually had the luxury of pulling this champion. And guys,
what?
Do you know about both the Rancid?
No.
This dude,
not even on my list.
I would say one of the best epic champions to come out of recently for Clan Boss is the best way to put it. And the second I read this kit, you're gonna be like, okay, I see where you're going with this. All right. So we start off here. We've got a removing of 2 random debuffs from all allies with a heal and an increased accuracy on a 3-turn cooldown. So, take off decreased speed, take off the stun, right?
Yeah, increased accuracy is great.
Watch this here.
I get it.
Buff extender on a 3-turn cooldown. So we got a cleanser and a buff extender, which is cool. Heal reduction for other areas, which isn't great, but he also reduces poison damage from the passive for the void affinity, right? Which is cool.
But
this combination here on 3-turn cooldowns, I think is going to be a sneaky play for me this year, I think.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I got you. When I see this champion, I look Clan Boss, I go, I don't want accuracy on this champion. I don't want the heal reduction. I don't want the decreased accuracy, right?
Yep.
Those aren't going to help me. But I do love the cleanse. I do love the buff extension. I absolutely love the increased accuracy buff, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you combine those two, that means you're keeping increased accuracy on your champions for the full duration. Means you can build everybody in much less accuracy. That's a nice little combination there. I'm not angry at that. At all. I think that is good call. Good call on both. Yeah.
He came out and he went under the radar. And when I pulled him, I was like, how has everyone been sleeping? Like, even, Amius, Never Spider, heal reductions, great Fire Knight with the double hitters. He's got value elsewhere, but if you need a buff extender, you don't have Anchorites, Godseeker, and Ares, all the usual suspects. He's sitting here ready to rock and roll for me at some point. And in Never Spider, I only managed to beat it because of this passive, 50% less damage.
Wow. Sure. I get that.
Yeah, pretty cool.
I'm going to be honest. I think both is better than Anchorite, hands down, just off the kit. And I think there's a good argument better than Godseeker too, because of that. Godseeker has a revive, which kind of puts her at a new level. But for Clan Boss specifically, that increased accuracy buff, it really can't be understated.
With the cleanse, it's so you can imagine the amount of speed tune potentials, block debuffs to stun and remove the decreased speed. There's so much combinations for a buff extender cleanser, and we don't have enough of that in the game, which is cool.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Actually, great call. Great shout out. Wow.
Shout out to both.
Man, it's just learning something new every day. I can't.
All right, enlighten us. Wow. We need some spicy picks.
Oh God! Now you got me on the spot. You pulled out such a winner on that one.
Secret weapons.
Okay, hold on. I gotta look and think here. What do I have? That's any. See. Now the pressure's on to come up with something that people wouldn't think of. Don't really. I feel like. Okay, well. Boy, I wasn't gonna choose this person because they're kind of on the edge. Do I want to go with that? Ooh, sorry, you got stuck. Now you've got me stuck here. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go with this. This is kind of a. I'm not gonna lie. This is a mid pick, right? It's
Okay.
not a. It's not a good pick. It's a mid pick. But I want to point out why this is definitely. I don't think this is somebody you're gonna want to sleep on for this, because I think they do bring enough here worth looking at. God, it really is a mid pick at best. All right, but we're gonna go with old Ghrukkus.
Oh, I love this
in
dude.
Ogre and Tribes.
Lovely.
Ogre and Tribe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, old Ghrukkus. Now, I think old Ghrukkus is probably really good for a lot of stuff in the game, right?
Yeah.
But for clan boss specifically, kind of mid. And the reason why, obviously, the A1 is the big part of this that I think is just fantastic. Brings a leech debuff right on an A1 on a triple hitter, so you can use what is it? Not War Master, but Giant Slayer, right? Such a great thing, such an easy way to improve your damage. So that's really great, right? It's only a 20% chance to land, but on a triple hitter, like how often do you have to hit it, right? To get that going. And then the other part I really like is A3, where you're getting 100% chance when booked of that decreased attack on a 3-turn cooldown. Those two things combined, I think, make this a good champion. You got solid base stats, right? Here, I'll try and move a little bit.
There you go.
But yeah, decent defense, HP, speed, like it's all very, very solid. The A2, I probably would turn it off personally, but it's good for every other area of the game where you have an AoE, where you have a decreased speed, single target, I guess, decreased speed and decreased turn meter. Like those are great, but not really for clan boss where it doesn't work. But yeah, I think this is somebody where you look at it and you go, oh, you know what? Let me not sleep on that. Like this would be a great champion for me. My account right now.
Yeah.
I definitely would be happy to get them. Would help with Fire Knight, but also would help with clan boss. So they get a more consistent decreased attack than I even get with Coffin Smasher, and that's something I could definitely get behind.
Old Ghrukkus is actually. I spoke about this champion very recently, actually, in a dedicated video. Like one of the most underrated champions of all time for Epics, because he's actually in my main finite hard 10 team on my main account, and not
oh wow,
yeah, not just for a video, like because nobody else does the combination of effects on my account for one champion. You have to get it from different roles, like getting heal reduction, decrease attack, leech, triple hitter, and decrease speed and 10 meter drop. It's bonkers. And look at the aura.
That's actually
24%.
Good call on that. Yeah, that's a really good call out. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, this is kind of an insane Fire Knight champion, but also I think surprisingly decent for clan boss.
Yeah, he's gonna have good utility if you pull him pretty early on for sure. Yeah, really good one. I didn't expect that for clan boss, but I can see it 100%. I love old Ghrukkus. Let's go.
It's hard to go outside the box on these picks. I'm not gonna lie.
We started the video off like, oh, we're gonna name like the top of the top. We're like, do you know what? Scrap that. That's every video out there. Let's go a bit different today.
This is definitely spicy. This is what I would call a luxury pick, right? I don't think most people would put this person on their team, and I wouldn't blame you. But I feel like this is definitely a solid luxury pick here. And I'm gonna say Ambassador Lethelin.
Ooh, little taunt champion for the win.
Okay. Now I gotta explain this one a little bit here, right? Because it's not. I don't think this is obvious. So the A3, right, does decrease the duration of debuff. So basically cleanse for your allies. It's not a full cleanse. It's a 1 turn duration decrease. So but it has that 4 turn cooldown and a heal. Heals are good. We like heals.
Yep.
The A2 taunt on target ally, so that will be your leader if you run it on auto, and reflect damage on everybody, right? This is definitely something that's better for things like Fire Knight, but a little extra damage is a little extra damage. But the taunt means that you can dictate where the stun goes. Again, 4 turn cooldown. So you can use those two skills in conjunction, just got to be on at least a 4-3 ratio type team.
Yep.
And then A1, decreased crit rate, which we've talked about how valuable that is. And when he has full HP, that increase the chance of landing that bumps up. So like he's not insane, but there's definitely some utility there. When you can dictate where the stun goes, that means that you can really, make sure that your team's kind of consistent, and that's what the taunt's gonna do. When you can heal your team, you stay alive. When you can put decreased crit rate, you take less damage. All those things kind of combine to make him I would say, probably a mid clan boss champion. Yeah. Now, obviously, it can be really good in other areas, but there is one last bonus about this champion that we should not ignore. that are the base stats you can see behind me. 106 base speed is insanely fast.
That is super
Insanely
fast.
fast. 1200 defense is really good. 17,000 HP is pretty solid too. Like building him, I think is easier than it would be for a lot of champions, and so that part I really like. You know, and so yeah, that's my thinking on him.
And he looks badass, which is always a plus.
He does look badass. That is definitely a plus. Yeah. This is an outside the box, you know, kind of pick. It's definitely not somebody I would. It's not my most wanted, but you know, definitely I feel like you could be excited by it.
Now, seeing where you're going, because obviously you really like Caphra as well for the same reasons, that unkillable and taunt and soaking up the hits and stuff. So obviously any of these kind of taunt champions can really like determine the stun target and keep your stuff, you know, the way you want it to go, pretty much.
100%. Caphra is a great shout out too. Like definitely is on my list, and like I maybe even preferred over Ambassador Lethelin, but like I feel like those champions they do bring some real value to your team.
Yeah, for sure. Man, do you know what my issue is right now, right? The champions that was kind of underrated I've already got. Do you know, like the Dawncaller Sabbathers, the Tagors? These are like the ones I've got, so I don't really want to mention those.
Yeah, I feel you.
If I was going to go a different route, I'm going to talk about... I'll go back to back here. I think there's two passive champions in the game, and maybe some people don't realize why, and it's because they don't really need any books to be effective. One is Doompriest.
Good call. Yeah.
Keeps you affinity friendly, brings a increased attack, and she just fits into budget unkillables, non-unkillables, whatever you need. It's just an easy cleanse without needing any books, pretty much. And same goes for Vogoth. Like, you could argue you get a better chance with the leech and stuff, but, you know, the healing, the leech, you could just literally be a passive bot for you and put in a phenomenal job. And if you do invest in him, increases duration of debuffs and decrease attack in other areas and stuff.
Such good picks. I think I had Vogoth last year, and it's insane for this kind of thing. Yeah. Great call. Hold on, I gotta mark a couple guys off my list here. Scratch that off real quick.
We said we had 40. We're going down to like final twos of underrated now. It's like crazy
I know. Boy, that one that was a good call. I definitely respect that one there. Okay, let's see. I think I do have a sneaky one for you though that you'll appreciate.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Urticata.
She was on my list. I love this champion. Okay.
Yeah. So this is a damage dealer, you know, poison champion. Not going to be top tier by any means, but very, very good for what you're looking for here. First off, you know, pretty low base HP, but pretty decent base defense.
Yeah.
That's somebody you can build up. But yeah, you're talking about that passive there. Whenever this ally or this champion or ally lands a crit on the enemy under Hex, 10% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff. That books up to 25% chance. That is pretty solid. So basically, it doesn't matter as long as your team is critting, you're getting some poisons up there. So you don't need any dedicated poison champions outside of her. She has a 4-hitter with a chance to land Hex, 3-hitter with a chance to land poison sensitivity, you know, and a 2-hitter, the more chances. Oh, it increases duration of the poisons, I believe, that A1.
Yeah.
Like, so Giant Slayer is definitely a good option here. You're gonna have Hex up. You're gonna all speed battle aura. Like, there's a lot to really like about that. Plus that A3, one book to make it work. Right? There's a lot. She needs a lot of books, but you only need one for that A3. That's really what you're looking for there. Everything else you don't really need books for. You know, it's nice the other skills that she has, the chance to land it. Even the passive, you would love to get the books there.
Yeah.
But when everybody's attacking and anybody can crit and add a poison, that's just a huge chance to just really add more and more of them to it and keep that debuff bar full, which I love. So yeah, I think she's sneaky good, you know?
Yeah, no, she is pretty good. Like, it's just like a weird way of like placing the poisons and stuff.
So bizarre.
Yeah, I was actually writing something once. I was like, the most bizarre champions in the game. And weirdly, I always think she's part of the Doom Tower, but she's not. She's a summonable champion that you can... Yeah, she just looks. She's got that Doom Tower look to her, like
she does.
Like the 7th champion you get in the Doom Tower, but no, it's not.
100%.
All right, next up here, who we got, Mr. YST? Oh, man, had one in my head there for a second and it's just like slipped out. Okay.
It happens. It happens.
Man.
I think this is our last. I think this is your last pick. I think this is the last one. I think this is going to take us up to 10 here.
Yeah.
Well, like more like 15 with all the other ones we've mentioned, but like I think this is. I think we each have one more.
Yeah, this video could easily go in for 3 hours at this rate. Underrated pick. I don't know if you'd think this is underrated. I kind of think it is in this day and age. Maybe do you know what? I think the times have changed enough for me to bring this up again. I think Rearguard Sergeant could make it. I think she's a sleeper. I think with the whole landscape of the game nowadays in 2025, I think newer players coming in maybe not see this champion as a top tier ally protector, but let me just tell you guys, phenomenal. I think she's so good. Like ally protection, continuous heals on a 3-turn cooldown. We've got an AoE decreased attack, which isn't 100% chance. She likes to read, but has a self-healing effect, which we spoke about with Torogi and stuff. Like, phenomenal. And then we got decreased defense A1. Once again, not 100% chance. So I can see where players might lean away from her. But in the grand scheme of things, she's bringing 2 crucial debuffs, a very crucial buff for survivability, and a nice aura for your Force HP champions. I think, I think she deserves to be on my underrated list for today. Sure.
Oh, I think Rearguard Sergeant is fantastic.
3.8.
How does she have that low rating? That's ridiculous.
They reset the ratings as well, and people still ranking her there. Wow.
Yeah, they don't know. They don't know if that's the rating that she's getting. They really don't know, and it's like it's just despicable. It's really a shame because like she's insanely good. You know, she brings everything you want. Now there are some negatives, right? The decreased attack is not 100%. That's definitely a real thing. The decreased defense, it's on the A1, but when you're using every skill once per 3 turns, it maybe isn't as consistent as you might want there either. And obviously with her ally protection, she doesn't really do anything for her own survivability, which is a little bit tricky, right? She puts continuous heal on your allies, not on her.
Yep.
That said, super good champion, like super good, right? Like you're really bringing everything, and she has good base stats. You know, I don't know what to say, but 1200 defense, 18,000 HP is not small stuff. I love her. I think she's really, really fantastic. Probably, I would say arguably better in other, like just in general as a champion to have on your account for like dungeons and stuff. But yeah, really good for clan boss. There was a time where she was like one of the preeminent ally protection champions.
Yeah, I think like she's just not spoken about, and I think actually, honestly, I think when we did the clan boss draft, I might have used Rearguard in that team. I think because Hotatsu doesn't have 100% chance, and then Rearguard doesn't have 100% chance. I think I paired them together.
Right.
I think that was the play. Yeah, but you know, if you can pull something like that off, like if you guys go check out,
that was your free to play. That was your free to play. I remember you had her on your free to play. I think with Hotatsu. I think that was how you made that work. Yeah. I'm pretty positive. That was a great. No, great call. Great call. She's super good.
Yes. So who did you have here? Did you have a last one there? Was it? I can't remember.
I have a last one.
Okay.
I have a last one. It's a classic. Now, obviously, you know we've missed a lot of like top tier ones, like Deacon Armstrong, like
it feels so weird making a clan boss video without mentioning them. I'm like, oh no.
Right. I felt like had to mention Morad.
Yeah.
There's some top tier champions out here. Torogi the Frog. I don't know if I said that. But I'm gonna go with my classic that I have to always mention when we talk about epics, when we talk about clan boss, because this champion was crucial to my build. And no, wrong.
Wait.
Almost there.
No, it's this one.
It is Skinwalkers. We're talking about Steel Skull, of course. Steel Skull. She's just, or I always say she. I was just
about to say, I've got in trouble so many times with Ash. There's a video I did with Druk, right? And he was like, yo, look at the nips, man. How can you say she? It's like, it's
Anyway, Steel Skull is, I think, just a great champion for clan boss. A little bit tricky to make work, but super good because it brings so much, right? Full cleanse right there. And a big single target heal on a single target. That's a really big one. That books down a 3-turn cooldown too, which is great. The A3 is that like increased defense, the big one, plus heals everybody. It's not a small heal. Really nice champion for this 4-turn cooldown on that. And then, of course, you've got that A1, which is just going to be laying poisons. Now, it is only a 35% chance when booked. It's not very high on a 2-hitter. Each hit has a chance, but, it's just not a lot.
Yeah.
So I think this is if you want to use a Steel Skull, there's a couple prerequisites. One, you really want counterattack or ally attack, but you want extra A1 attacks. Like that's pretty important. Now, if you're going at a 2-1 ratio, that works too. Like, don't get me wrong, but generally, that's one of the tricks. It's hard, but you can use her to cleanse things like the stun if you have it dedicated going to somebody in particular. The heal and the increased defense are really valuable, but obviously being on a 4-turn cooldown makes it a little tricky to speed tune it. But yeah, I found her to be very, very nice, very, very fun. If you're building a survive team, I think she's really, really that.
Yeah, I think at this stage of the game, if somebody pulls a Steel Skull, like even me, if I pulled a Steel Skull, I'll be like, oh my god, this is amazing, because I don't have increased defense right now, I don't have any way to cleanse up the stun target, and this is a perfect. Obviously, the 4-turn cooldown is the one downside. You'd have to go into those ratios, but in the grand scheme of things, you're getting a lot of fundamentals here, and it's going to hard carry in faction wars as well, and that's what we want to see.
Can I tell you the best thing about her, though? If you go back, the number one thing that's great about her, look at her base speed.
111.
111. So sometimes it's really hard to build champions fast, right? Like when you're trying to do like a 4-3 ratio, you need someone in the 240 range. Yeah, I think that's a fair rating for her.
Yeah, it's better than the other one we just seen.
Definitely better than the other one.
Yeah.
But when you have 111 base speed, it's not hard to get someone up to 240. Like that's actually relatively easy for for this. So like she's good. She's solid.
Yeah, 100%. And guys, like Deadwood just mentioned as well, halfway through the video, we were just like, do you know what? We do these videos all the time. Like, I'm going to say a few, like Skull Crushers, Sepulchre Sentinel, Geomancer, Taragi the Frog, Man-Eater, Demytha, Unkillable Teams, Occult Brawler, Seekers. There's infinite champions that you guys have had all the time. And we thought, do you know what? Just spice it up a little bit for today. We've not had Deadwood on in a long time, and I'm happy we went that direction, 100%.
I am too. That was fun.
What do you think about the rap, by the way? This dude.
He was on my list. He's on my list.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Brings what you need. Yeah. Brings some poisons. Brings some damage.
Yeah. Oh, he's got higher rating than Steel Skull and Rearguard. Wow. Interesting. Wow. Okay.
I would say better than Steel Skull, right? You're getting Leech. You're getting Poison. You're getting Weaken. Like I would say better than Steel Skull, but also like I don't know if that high is really appropriate. 4.6 seems a little bit much for me, but okay, I get it.
Yeah, so I guess that was kind of it for our list today, guys. Please let us know in the comment section below if you're in the free-to-play series, or even if you're not, if you were to start a fresh account in 2025, what are maybe the top, 3 or 4 underrated epics you guys have got out there, and then maybe some other viewers can have a little look, and they might have one of your hidden gems to explore for their own.
Yeah.
But Deadwood, I appreciate you coming on for this one.
Such a pleasure. Always fun. I appreciate you responding and we're coming making time to do this. We'll definitely do it again, so we're not waiting a whole year before we connect.
Yeah, and obviously I just want to apologize in advance that Team Alice is going to lose this year. It's not my fault, It's just it is what it is.
Right. Sure. Did you pull Hatter, or is that just?
Yeah, no, I pulled Hatter from an Ancient, and then the second Ancient was in a Pardon. Back to back. No 2x event.
I don't like you at all.
It was a pretty... So let's just say Hydra's going to be a bit spicy this year.
Oh, man.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. By the way, did you go to Gore Dawncaller for your Reviver this year? Which one are you choosing?
Yes. Oh, Tagwar.
So that's the direction I think I'm going to go. I managed to get lucky with the books on these two and not the A1.
It's really funny. I know a lot of people really love Dawncaller. I haven't found her to be particularly... I just don't get it. I don't see the appeal.
The appeal...
I see the appeal, but it's not strong enough for me to be really excited by.
Yeah, so this Revive is basically, it's comparable to Siphi, the Lost Sprite, who's a Void Legendary, right? With the block damage 2 turns. But I think it's just this combination. There's only 2 epics in the game currently. Discard the Sigiled from the Banner Lords and then Dawncaller that bring increased defense and increased attack on a 3-turn cooldown for an epic. And I think that's
definitely a rare thing. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I think it's the scarcity value. There's not enough of it in the game, and players are just really valuing this, right? Which is understandable, but... Yeah,
I get that. Also only 8 books, not a lot of books, and the passives are really nice. With the reset of skills, and I definitely get it. I don't understand. Like, if you have Tag War, like, it's an AoE revive. Like, he's so much better.
I think the
like,
one thing I don't
so
like about Tagore is I don't like how he uses the ability even if there's no dead allies. It's so annoying for full auto. But at the same time, it's good because you get a shield and stuff like Clan Boss. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's a yin and yang, right? It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I think Tagore is just really, really good. The passive is solid. I love the fact that it's an attack when he places the increased speed. Like, that's, such a rare thing.
Yeah.
And it comes with a solid heal. The A1 placing an extra increased speed. Like, there's a lot to like about him.
Yeah.
And I value AoE revive way more than single target revive. That's a big thing for me. So I just think he's really, it's hard to beat that.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat as you, by the way. I've only got three 6 stars, so
okay, that makes me feel better.
Yeah,
that makes me feel a little bit better. I mean, not the two OP legendaries.
Oh, shall we hide them in here? Oh, so this was the decreased attack I pulled, right? I know we kind of just.
You actually have good epics too. What the heck?
No, I don't think so. Do you? No.
Yeah. Well, I love Woad Painted. I
so
think
a lot of
she's
people
fantastic.
are saying. So I pulled 2 epics apart from Sacred Shards, and those Sacred Shards was Ator trash, Rainbeast trash, Cagebreaker trash, right?
True.
I got Nazana. She's okay,
Nazana's
but
a good one.
I am not booking it up for a 75% decrease attack. I just can't bring myself around to do it. But
you have ally protection. I think is the important thing there is you have it, right?
It's there if I need it, but let's just fingers crossed that doesn't happen. But this part here is a bit spicy since the buff. I like this from Woad Painted.
Look, I mean, it's also probably one of the strongest heals in the game, right? Like, she heals herself and all the excess goes to all your allies. I love her, and I'll tell you where I use her consistently. I use her consistently in Amius against the boss there.
Okay.
Because you can build her pretty tanky. She gives you a little bit of a cleanse, and then that heal is super strong, and can kind of really do good work there. So for me, that's the spot that I typically have her at. I will say, like, just general content, I would imagine she's pretty good for Fire Knight with the Reflect, but.
I was actually thinking
you're probably
of
not using her a lot, but
yeah, for Fire Knight, I was thinking like once we progress a little bit more, I'll let her get to the boss and just die, just eat up the first hit, and then once we reflect damage, control the boss, and she might be one of my spirit picks looking forward because we need to rank up different affinities looking forward as well, right?
Yeah, she's not. I mean, look, she's not top tier. I wouldn't put her there, but she's at least useful.
Yeah, for sure.
She's at least useful, which compared to my Crypt Witch is really not,
the
saying
Crypt Witch,
something.
Crypt Witch is cool for faction wars. It's, a little spicy on there.
Stop.
I'm
as
trying to
soon
make
as
you
you
feel
say
better,
faction
man.
wars, you're wrong.
I hate that
that's
phrase.
wrong.
Do you know? By the way, I got a primal shard from this event, the Deck of Fate. Look at that.
Oh, did you?
Look at that. Ready for 2x tomorrow.
God.
Lovely.
Oh my God.
Imagine if we pull a mythical like a Galathyr or something. Oh my God.
I'm so bitter right now.
Yeah,
no, it's great. Dude, if you got a mythical champion like Galathyr, that'd be crazy. I'd be super excited for you. I'd just be like, okay, show us what.
Someone's gonna get it. I'm calling it. Someone from the free to play series is gonna get it because on the Alice Chase we get a primal shard, right? So we're like, and that's only in what 1, 2, 3, 4 days. So maybe by after Sunday night, everyone will be able to get a 2x primal.
How do I advance my Alice Chase really fast? That's what I need to know.
You can't. We're hard stuck at 75 flags a day. They're like, you better wait.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fine.
Yeah. But all right, guys, we're rambling on. This video is going way too longer than it needs to be. Have an amazing rest of your day. Subscribe to Deadwood Jedi. Check out the Rare collab, and we're out of here. See you later. Peace.